Good afternoon, teens, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Bored Librarian. That's right, Miss Justin is back, and today I'm going to show you how to make your very own Baby Yoda, aka Grogu. For today's craft, every material you will need is included in our teen takeout kits, available for pickup at the Ridgewood Public Library. So make sure you call ahead and ask to see if there's still stuff available. However, if you are tuning in and you don't have time to come at the library, all you will need is the PDF template. And thanks to Tiny Craft World for this Baby Yoda template, 2 little black beads for his eyes, 3 different types of color felt. We used gray, tan, and green, some polyester fiber fill or stuffing, and it's not included in our kit, but you will need a hot glue gun, pieces of tape, fabric scissors, and a piece of ribbon if you want to make him a little bit of an ornament. Our first step in creating our Baby Yoda Grogu is to cut out all of the shapes on our template. And as you can see, it's probably easier if you separate them into the piles that correlate with the color felt you will be using. The first piece that we will be working on is Grogu's head. And as you can see, you are going to be cutting out 2 shapes of the headpiece because you are going to be putting stuffings in between. And then next is his ears. Once you have all the pieces cut up, you are going to take his ears and kind of gently fold the little flap over at the top. And then you're going to want to put a little bit of the hot glue on there to stick it down. Next, you're going to place his ears on one of the shapes and hot glue that piece to the sides for his earpieces. The next part in the craft is to enclose the stuffing in Grogu's headpiece. So as you can see, very gently work with adding the hot glue gun to the very top part of his head. And then as you are putting stuffing in, you are also adding hot glue gun to enclose it. Now, please be very careful when you're doing and using hot glue gun. It is hot. It's part of what it's called. So just very cautiously, without burning yourself, try to evenly distribute the hot glue gun and enclose the stuffing onto baby Grogu's head. The next part is to assemble Grogu's body, and like we did with his headpiece, we are also going to include a bit of stuffing just to kind of puff him up a little bit. So again, use the same caution as you would when doing the headpiece and enclosing the stuffings with the hot glue gun. Then take the body part of Grogu and hot glue it to his headpiece. Next, we are going to cut out the robe. So as you can see, one is larger than the other. So one is the bottom half that's going to wrap around Baby Yoda, and you're going to take the hot glue gun and kind of put a little bit at the front of Grogu and wrap the robe around him, and then get another little bit of hot glue and kind of enclose him in the little robe part. And then you are going to want to take the thinner piece and you are adding a little depth to his robe. So you're going to add a little bit of a crease and hot glue shut that little crease part of his robe. It'll make it look a little bit nicer, and add a little depth to Grogu's robe as we assemble him. And as you can see, this part's a bit tricky, so just make sure you're using caution with the hot glue gun and folding and creasing at the same time. But I promise you, his robe is going to look awesome once you have this part done. And after the hot glue dries, you are going to also take this piece and you're going to put it behind him and wrap it around like you did with the first rope part. As you are gluing the top piece and working your way, sitting baby Grogu on top and then wrapping it around him, you can even give it a little bit of a hot glue gun tuck and kind of, make it look like an actual robe that he's actually wearing. And then the next part is to assemble the pram. Now there are two little pieces that are very thin, which just adds depth to the pram itself. Again, if you're able to, totally suggest doing it because it does add a cool look to the actual Grogu piece. And then you're going to want to hot glue the thinner outline to one of the gray circles, and you can kind of trim it a little if it's not even. Then take the bottom half and apply some hot glue over so you can place the thinner piece on top of the pram. And then you are going to generously apply hot glue to the back of Grogu and place him right dead smack in the middle, like so. Then you are going to apply hot glue gun to the bottom half of the pram and as evenly as you can attach it to your Grogu piece. One of the last things we are going to do is to add the back part to the pram along with adding and enclosing some of the stuffing. So as you can see, I am working my way from the bottom to the top. And just, as you're stuffing and enclosing, just take care and make sure that the pram pieces are enclosed as you are moving forward with your pram enclosure. Now, at this tutorial, at the very end of it, I included a little ribbon attachment because I wanted to make it like an ornament type of thing. So totally optional if you want to include that part, that's totally up to you. But I cut a piece of ribbon about the length of my finger and just kind of hot glue that as I'm hot gluing the pram shut. And finally, we are going to add Grogu's eyes. So add a little hot glue gun to the beads and push down towards closer to the bottom of his robe, or the top part of his robe, actually. And there you have it, folks. Baby Grogu. I thank you for tuning in. I am the Bored Librarian. Until next time.